Vogler, as we said earlier, you've been in law enforcement since 1996. We can show the officer. There he is, Sergeant Vogler right there. We appreciate you coming in. You've been in law enforcement since 1996, and we all discuss this in our personal lives. It's the fragility of life.
Yeah.
And I wonder, you also teach police officers. How do you instill that? What things do you say to police officers who obviously every day go out not knowing how that day is going to end?
Well, when I teach in the academy, truthfully, it's kind of invigorating to me because you can see, I call them kids. They're not kids, they're adults, right? But they're all out there and they're so they're so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They haven't been beat up by life yet. And it's so really when I teach them, it's kind of, I walk out of the classroom going, wow, I feel better. Let's go get those bad guys, right? But when you talk to them about this event, and how this can change your perspective on a lot of things. But I've actually gone so far as to I've had one or two recruits that I wanted to try to instill what was actually taking place. And so I had them write a letter, almost an obituary. If you have them write their own, there's something with a learning process when you put pen to parchment. There's something with the learning process when somebody writes something down, right? And so I had two recruits that they just weren't picking up what I was putting down. They weren't smelling what I was stepping in, right? So I actually have them write down a farewell letter to their mother and to their spouse, kind of drives home, and I say, this is the risk at hand. You accept this risk every time you go to work. And you have to appreciate the fact that there's other people that are going to be paying that price. I've always believed that the biggest people who have accepted most of the abuse of my choice of occupation has always been my family, my wife, my daughter. They are the ones that pay the price, the deepest, not you. So, because they choose to love you, and now you're making a decision that will forever affect them as well. And think about it. When I go to third shift, honestly, how many women do you know are willing to sleep alone in bed for months on end so that you can go to work and make other people feel safe? The true applause goes to them, to those feel. But you have to drive home that message sometimes, and that's some of the ways I do it.
And one of the things that came out of this, an officer was speaking about, with the increase, like so many officers being killed in the line of duty, and we're hearing it more and more and more. Russ said we keep doing these things are happening. How do you share with the officers? How has that changed the mentality, the atmosphere, that it's more of an attack on police officers now?
Well, society's become a lot more aggressive towards police work. We've seen, it was several presidents ago, we've started to see more conflict. What we're seeing with officers is we're seeing a different applicant.
Okay.
We're seeing a different person that stays in police work. And before, the vast majority of people would leave police work within 3 to 5 years. If somebody is past 5 years, they're pretty hardcore dedicated to our fraternal experience. And so before, you really didn't have that. Now you do, because the ones that are really doing this now, it's in their bloodline. I mean, we talk about the thin blue line, and we talk about the bloodline on the pants, but I think a lot of officers now look at, we tell people the thin blue line is the line that we walk between chaos and an ordered structured society. If you talk to officers that have been in this business for, that thin blue line, that's my family crest. And so that's how we got to look at it. So I think you're seeing a different applicant now. I think you're going to see in 5 years, if they're still in the business, if they're not emotionally exhausted, you're going to see somebody who's very dedicated to our concepts, to our ideas.
Takes a special person, no doubt. I want to address this again for those who might just be joining us. Russ asked you about it being at Rocket Arena, and your answer about the fact that he was ambushed, and that is why you think that there will be more people.
Yes, very much so. I mean, once again, if somebody's not even given a fighting chance, it's like your heart really pours out to them. I'd be very surprised if we don't see officers as far away as Cincinnati, as far away as Detroit. I would not exclude Canada from showing up today. I wouldn't exclude that idea. When they're doing the venue, that's because they've gotten so many phone calls. The police department, the day after, if you call, their desk sergeant, their receptionist is getting so many phone calls, and that's how they gauge where to hold the venue.
If we can go back to that shot of the flag there at Carnegie near Progressive Field, I want to point out a couple of things that are happening today that are different from other funerals of police officers we have seen of late. As we've just pointed out, as Dave and Danita and the sergeant just pointed out, this will take place at Rocket Arena. What happens many times during these ceremonies, when the hearse gets to the location of the actual funeral, there is a procession, there is a ceremony of the coffin being taken out of the hearse. What is going to happen here today? This is what we were told yesterday. Rocket Arena has a downstairs basement. It's where the athletes park. Dave, you would know this.
Dave knows.
I've been there a few times.
You've been there. It's where the athletes park. It gives you direct access to the floor of the arena. What is going to happen is once the hearse arrives at Rocket Arena, it will go inside that garage. There will be no cameras allowed in there for live pictures. So if there is a ceremony like that there, you will not see it live. And police tell us that is not necessarily for privacy's sake, but it's just for logistics' sake. It is the best way to get the coffin inside the arena and get the family in there as well. Sergeant Vogler, as you look at this today, you talked about the families and what happens later. One of the things that you do is you counsel families. I heard from a sister of a fallen police officer yesterday who said something that you pointed out earlier. Right now, there's a lot of attention on this. They're getting a lot of support, but this goes away really quickly. That's the hardest part.
It goes about a week, maybe 10 days. Before you know it, the flags will go back up to full staff. The ribbons will come down off the light poles. The T-shirt sales for the fundraiser for the family. Or we'll see an uptick in sales on our webpage to support the memorial. But about a week or 10 days, all that will start going away. And now it's quiet. And when it's quiet, that's when your mind will start realizing that last Christmas was the last Christmas. And the next birthday party, he won't be there. And it's not 1 year. It will take years for that family to accept the new norm, if you will.
And when things like this happen, other families who've been touched by this in the same way,
Yes.
do they come together?
Yeah.
Do they reach out?
Well, we actually have a representative in the Greater Cleveland Police Officers Memorial Society that will reach out to that and say, I'm a mother
Okay.
of one of our officers that were slain, and let them know that they're not alone. And there's something when you know that you're not alone. There's something with the healing process that helps that. I don't know if you're never going to recover. You just accept what the new norm is because you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
It's either you can waller forever or try to accept the new norm. And the healthiest thing is just try. This is what life has dished me right now.
Yeah. And move on the best way you know how.
Best as you can.
Best as you can.